Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to share my experience investing the stimulus checks I received over the past couple of years, and what the results have been. When the pandemic hit in early 2020, the government sent out stimulus checks to help boost the struggling economy. I received a $1,200 check in spring 2020, an additional $600 later in the year, and then another $1,400 in spring 2021. That $3,200 total presented me with an interesting opportunity to try investing some of that money and see what would happen. Deciding how much to invest. The first decision I had to make was how much of the stimulus money I wanted to invest versus use for regular expenses. I already had a regular job and was still able to work from home during the pandemic, so I didn't necessarily need the money to cover basic necessities. That gave me some flexibility. I decided that since this money came unexpectedly, I could take some risks with it and invest a chunk of it. Specifically, I decided to invest half of my total stimulus amount, $1,600. The other $1,600 would go to some home improvements we had been wanting to make anyway. Choosing investments. Now it was time to decide exactly what investments I wanted to make with that $1,600. Because I had some risk tolerance with this money, I decided I wanted to choose somewhat aggressive options with potential for solid returns. I didn't want to just leave it sitting in a savings account earning minuscule interest. I set aside about $600 of the total for individual stocks. These were companies that seemed poised for growth as the economy recovered: an EV company, a tech company, and a popular retail investment website. The other $10,000 I invested into 2 index funds focused on tech and renewable energy. I figured those sectors also had room for expansion post-pandemic. $500 went into each fund to spread things around. The investing process. Opening a brokerage account was quick and easy these days with so many user-friendly apps and platforms available. I went with one of the popular free trading apps since I was starting relatively small. Within minutes I had set up and funded my account. Over the next week or two, I researched companies and funds and placed my trades. It was actually kind of fun and exciting. The money I invested instantly gave me a stake in those companies and sectors, which made tracking their progress interesting right from the start. Early results. In the first few months, the results were mostly positive. My tech index fund gained over 10% quickly as that sector recovered well from the economic shutdowns of 2020. My retail investment platform stock also took off like crazy thanks to all the new individual investors entering the market. That single stock ended up being over 50% of my gains those first 6-8 months. On the flip side, that hot electric vehicle company I had invested in took longer than expected to ramp up production and the stock price languished for a while. Win some, lose some, I guess. Overall though, by the end of 2020 my account balance was up about 35% from my initial $1,600 investment. Continuing to hold. As 2021 got going, I decided I wanted to continue holding my investments, rather than selling and cashing out those early gains. The market was still doing well and technology innovations were advancing rapidly. My index funds kept steadily increasing. The lone laggard EV stock also finally took off as they ironed out manufacturing capabilities. I was having fun watching my money grow. Another advantage of holding long-term that I discovered: long-term capital gains tax rates are much more favorable when you hold investments over a year. So less of my gains would get eaten up by taxes if I waited to sell. Current results. So now in early 2024, over 3 years from when I first invested that $1,600 from my stimulus checks, where do those investments stand? Drumroll please. My account is now worth $4,200. That's a total return of 162% and an average annualized return around 35%. Pretty sweet if you ask me. My index funds kept pace with their markets nicely. That early high-flyer retail investing platform stock cooled off a lot from its peak and I ended up selling it later in 2021 to lock in some gains. But my EV play kept charging upwards to where it's now my biggest holding. Overall, I'm super happy with the results and really glad I took a chance investing that money rather than just spending it. It ended up growing my net worth substantially. Key takeaways. So in summary, here are my key takeaways from this experience of investing my stimulus checks. 1. Don't underestimate the power of investing lump sums when opportunities arise. Even amounts under $2,000 can grow nicely over time. 2. Consider your personal financial situation when deciding how much investing risk to take with found money like stimulus checks. 3. Choose a balanced asset mix: individual stocks for biggest upside potential along with index funds for stability. 4. Resist the urge to panic sell early. If some holdings underperform, give investments time to play out for best results. 5. Keep taxes in mind. Long-term capital gains tax rates are favorable for investments held 1+ years. So there you have it, my experience investing my stimulus checks, which ended up growing $1,600 into $4,200 in just a few years. Definitely a fun ride. Let me know if you have any other questions down below.